No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.
Biddly, 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 boy. Yes, yes, your destiny's upon us, bro. You know what time it is. Get that badger in and on and over here. He's in, he's on, he's over, he's here. We've got a few shout-outs to make. We've got a shout-out to Ming59, shout-out to Legendary MVG, shout-out to Mark Bradley, shout-out to Cragger, and shout-out to Rysel. Much appreciated. They all became members last night. The lives went really well. I were on with Danny Boy from Not Another Leeds podcast. Go check it out. It was a good lad. I'm actually setting a target, guys, for the first time in my life. I'm going to try and get to 5,000 subscribers before the first game of the Premier League. I think I'm on 4,661 or something like that. There's been a bit of an increase of late. Don't know whether it's the bombardment of Voldemort or not or whatever, but, you know, shit is as shit does. But you know what time it is? That's not why we're here, because I'm aware we're a minute in. The clock watchers are being an on and over here. Clout Chaser's back. The non-story has been proved to be a non-story. I tried to say yesterday that the more media that picked it up does not make it more true, just because more news articles are printing the same dross that the first Daily Mail article said doesn't make it any more legitimate. Everybody's been slapping Jose Mourinho all over Twitter and putting him with a Leeds badge on like anybody cares about that. So my man, fucker, comes straight out the gate and gives it the big licks. Proper, cool, calm, collected like he is. There were people saying that he'd never get asked about it. The story got far too big. He was always going to get asked about it, even with one article, with the way that Voldemort and co sort of drummed up the interest. It's impossible to avoid it. It's been everywhere. It was amazing. My guy wants to chant. He made a bit of a joke about the celebrations and stuff. It's funny, isn't it? Because, you know, he also said he was having a few beers, and then he said he started drinking water, and then he drove home. Now, that's come out of his mouth. And I could have a headline, couldn't I, say, Daniel Farke, drink driver. That's where I could go, you know, but there's no need to do that, is there? That would be good clickbait, actually. I might chop this up and get a bit of clickbait on a short video. But do you catch my drift? You know what I mean? At least that's actually come out of his mouth, but I'm sure that's not going to be the case. Maybe this will be the start of the Daily Mail article saying Daniel Farke is a drink driver. Who knows? But he said he was like, you know, felt a bit jealous that he won't get in a chant and stuff. And I'm there. I'm at Ellen Road on Monday, and I'm hoping there's a chant going, and I will get stuck in for my man, Daniel Farke, fucker at the helm. He said, Gary Glitter, Gary Lineker. Harry Gray has already got one. He's played about 3 or 4 minutes for the club. And to be fair, as funny as that is, and I know everybody goes, yeah, it's because of the dynasty and the affinity that the Greys have got with the club. Like, well, yeah, but, you know, he hasn't done all, has he, in fairness, you know, and Farke has got the 90-point trophy last year. We're on for 100 points. You know, he's been amazing, and he loves a drink. And he's a drink driver. What's not to love about him? But he did mention the Premier League and said, you know, that he's not interested in talking too much about what the board are saying or whether or not they've 100% backed him, and that's up to the board to come out it's a question for them, not for my man, fucker. So, but he did mention the time at Norwich, and he basically said how it was never planned for him to stay up. They knew they'd never have the money, but he's quite a loyal man, so he didn't want to leave the club. There's been there's been ex-players saying that they should have never sacked him when they sacked him and stuff. He spoke about how he'll need different playing styles in order to be competitive in the Premier League next year. He says he knows that they're not going to dominate possession against your Liverpools, your Man Cities, your Arsenals and stuff, so he will have different methods. He spoke about how much he learned over in Bundesliga. You know, the bloke's progressed significantly himself. He's given us 2 brilliant seasons. We're definitely up. I'm hoping we can claim the title, get the 100 points. Daniel Farke at the helm. You know, I still think there's a conversation to be had at the end of the season. But he did say he's got a good relationship with the board. I just think they're playing it cool. Everybody's playing it easy. Let's get to end of year and let's go from there. Everybody's loving Wilder, my man Chrissy Wilder, or just Joe's man Chrissy Wilder, because he's come out and, you know, he's been right pleasant, and he said he spoke to Farke, and Farke said that they've got a right good relationship and there's all respect there. Don't fall for it, boys. If he'd have been winning league, he'd have been all over us like a rash. So don't worry about that. He's still ham-face. He apparently was on the phone to Bamford for 20 minutes or whatever, and they were chatting that out. Bamford's a nice enough guy. Even in that chat, he goes, Wilder is a wanker. He don't really want to say it. He goes, he's happy to set it off, but he don't really want to say it. But Wilder took that quite well. Wilder, when he was heard, he's been asked about whether Farke should, be the manager next season at Leeds United, and he said it's ridiculous. It's just how football's going at the moment. It is what it is. I can confirm that the promotion party is on Monday the 5th. It's going to be a wild one, so I just hope we can be top at Championship. Let's go get that golden boot. Let's get that 100 points, and let's get that bastard trophy. Yeah, boy, we can't be caught if we win the next 2 games. I can't see Burnley losing, but Burnley might draw a game. We might draw a game. I'm slightly concerned we'll take us foot off the gas somewhat. I do want to go and get that trophy. I think it makes a massive difference, and it certainly thinks it puts to bed any sort of Farke nonsense. But it's back because it's gonna be here for a long time now. We're gonna have a crazy summer. We're basically a month ahead of ourselves, because if we'd have gone into the playoffs, for instance, we'd have been like jinging and janging whether we're going down, or staying down, or going up. Can't be looking at certain players, even though that will all be going on in the background. Now it's all guns go out. All guns go forward. All trains are heading into that tunnel, pushing through that tunnel, all going the same way up into Premier League. So we can 100% of the staff, scouting staff, everybody can just focus on the Premier League targets. So all aboard the bullshit bus. Not sure if it's the first of the. We're not even in the window yet, but the Premier League bullshit bus is here, and it's straight into the dictionary corner because I've no chance with this one. Ukrainian fella, so he is. He's only 23 years old. He's been labelled as the classic striker. He's got 19 goals this season for Dynamo Kiev. And his name, are you ready, boys, is Vladislav Vanat. And I have spoke about him previously, but I can't remember how I pronounced his name last time, but I feel like I've had a pretty good bash at it there. Vladislav Vanat. Only 23, as I say, plenty of goals this season. Dynamo Kiev, they can be in and around Champions League. They have to qualify for it. Normally get knocked out is what it is. It'd be interesting to see what goes on. They'll be looking around Europe. I don't believe that it'll be Farke. It'll be any players that have previously played for Farke. I think if that is the case, it's purely by chance. I think people are just clutching at straws a little bit. Apparently, my man Soucek, which I think would be a good signing, big general in centre midfielder. He's 30 years old, obviously plays for West Ham, who have been torrid this year. He's contracted till 2027, so we will have to buy him. It's not something that we can sort of pick up free. Apparently, they would look at bids in and around 10 to 15 million. When in all honesty, Soucek's a proper Premier League player, still valued at West Ham. And I love my man Rothwell, but how much are they going to want for Rothwell if we're just going to do that comparison? If they wanted 8 million for Rothwell, you'd pay an extra 3 or 4 million for Soucek, wouldn't you? Not the same player, but Soucek's a Premier League player and Rothwell's a fringe player, isn't he? Calvin Phillips keeps coming up. Where you at with that? There's no point me saying where I'm at with it because everybody goes bonkers. It's not sentimental, I see you fucking dick slap. The apology tour will have to continue with my man Voldemort because Farke didn't address the apology tour, so it will just be the apology tour must go on. But yeah, Calvin Phillips, what you saying? I'd bring him back in. Why not? If we can get him on cheap, he'd take up a haircut. Bit of nostalgia in there. He's a Premier League footballer that's completely gone off the boil, but if he sits on bench for you, it'd be a bit of fun, wouldn't it? I'm so up for next season. I'm not having this inferior complex. It's not happening. Everybody bitching and whinging saying I'd take 17th now. No, I would not. Spoke to White Snake last night. I got him going with it. He now thinks Europe. I'm not saying Europe, but I'm saying 10th to 14th. That's my aim. And I think it's achievable with my man, Danny Facker. Yes. Take it easy, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. In a bit. Dog shit.
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.